so stupid to do this in antique times. Probably a bunch of stones just, you know, put together to create this fake shit. So let's try to start the exposition here. So this is like parts of these constructions. Looks like a marble concrete. All these holes over here are supposed to be rebar. Square holes. So this is a handmade job, right? I don't say so. So this is a pyramid with Old Sinai, right? Funny. Really funny. So they carved all of this shit and, you know, just scratched the writings here. This is a press type of technique. 1829, as it says. 1829. Horyo. This is a marble and this is a sandstone. 1895, in Anapa, they found a marble plate, 2 meters height, 0.54 meters width, and 0.26 meters thin, with the list of the names of the athletes, the winners in sports competitions made in the name of the god, trade, and some like this Hermes, which were occurring in the Gorgipia in the first half of the 3rd century BC. Original is in the Kerch Museum, which was transferred there in 1905 by the professor of St. Petersburg University, Veselovsky. So this is the copy created from the original. It has like a long run, a run with a fire, and some type of wrestling, and four lines of the names of the winners, which contain 61 names with the father's name. 61 year streak in Gorgipia. They had a sports competition. 226 names in the list are 85% Greek and 15% barbaric, like Skiv, Spartak, and something like this. This was like found here. Man's burial place, short, sword, wooden package, and a gold plate with griffins, double griffin. So it's like, I think it's a Tartarian culture, as we had Scythian culture, whatever you call it. Bunch of coffins here. So they had a good shape of something, but a bad technique of production inside. I think it's just a concrete structure made of sandstone. Probably women's.
Бегство от вражин. Да написано по табличке. Откуда я знаю.
Здесь не было. Ты ошибаешься.
Вон там почитай, пожалуйста. Да ничего не
Мама, Водя.
Чего такое?
Любую торговую точку все равно надо защищать. Потому что войны были по-любому. Не слушай, что там написано. Каждый мужик всегда был воином.
Пойдем в зал.
Сейчас пойдем. В сторону обойдем.
Я в камни посмотрела.
So they suppose it's a trading outpost without no warriors here. So where you've seen the the trading outpost without the warriors, who would protect the traders? I'd say it's a BS propaganda because warriors are supposed to be everywhere where trading is supposed to come up because every man was a trader. Well, you can see some blocks are in a very good shape. But most of these blocks are cracked. And right now looking like the ruins. Sticking with the cement or something like this. Concrete. So if they had the material to glue all these rocks, it would be great architectural style. What we see here. They're supposed to have a Hercules tomb, so-called Hercules tomb, but I don't see it. Probably it's hidden from us, so nobody can understand what it actually was. Because this is ain't nothing but bullshit. What I see here, so primitive that I wouldn't call it a city because we don't see any, construction that can hold any weight like this. I mean, guys, come on. If this was a city, you're supposed to have like a couple of posts on the corners of the constructions so they can hold on, because this is a seismic place where earthquakes appear to happen each and every year, and none of those buildings would hold on to an earthquake. But as you can see, some blocks are very distant, so probably those are the blocks that were actually in the place. Not all this bullshit that we see here. So those are the blocks, probably. You can see the big blocks over here, and this is just small blocks of piece of crap that they show us. So we are like over here. In the mid-7th century BC, on the northern shore of Black Sea, the Greek colonies, and up to 6th century BC, covering all these shore. So great Greek colonization was performed amid searching of new lands, the markets, and the source of metals and all this mining stuff. The runaways from political purposes from motherland. Blah 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 blah. So this is like the runaways. Like the United States has criminals went to the United States to build the country. So this is just the same thing, right? I think it's nothing but a bullshit. So guys, we're walking around this museum. As you can see, I went inside, and so there's plenty of so-called artifacts that they found around the place, and we can see the ornaments really looking like antique ornaments, those that we know right now as Greek, as this city Gorgipia is supposed to be ancient Greek city, but it's so far away from Greece that we just can't say like from the map that they show us that it was everywhere the Greece was ancient Greece. And but we know that antique is also antique, and all those artifacts look like more like Scythian type of artifacts, and what they show us is just a mixture combination of Greek artifacts and Scythian artifacts. So-called Greek and so-called Scythian, okay, because all this territory was multiple times picked by different powers like Turkey in not that far 17th century, then Russia in 18th century, and many things mixed up here. So as we can see, different type of artifacts are here, and most of them are just made up from scratch, because what we see, some bunch of ancient ceramics which could be not like from thousands of years ago, it could be like 300 years ago, and so on. And we see griffons, so we could relate them to Scythian, so we can relate them to even Great Tartary, because Crimea all has Scythian motifs in the cultural artifacts, and so this is not far away from Crimea. It's only like 30 kilometers across the sea, so you can literally sail from one shore to another shore. So it's like a huge populated area of the Scyth culture, which was supposed to be before the Middle Ages, medievals. So before that, it was a Greek colony and trading outpost, but it's so small for trading outpost, and so they like mixed it to mining and all this. It's a huge mining place, as I've been reading the official stand before that. But we see the combination of some good technologies, pretty advanced ones, which are marble, concrete, and just regular concrete, which is like a whole bunch more preserved than probably any modern concrete. If we say like our concrete won't be hanging so long, for like centuries, I bet it would be destroyed by the nature in a couple of 100 years. And they say this is just the blocks from the like thousands of years ago, 2000s of years ago. I don't kind of believe it, because it looks just the concrete for me, and probably it was created in the medievals, so it's not like that far ago. And some of it, you've seen some of it is very primitive, but it could be just the cheap sort of concrete for poor people, creating those gravestones and stuff like this for poor, and the marble ones for the rich people. And this is the map of the Mediterranean, which is supposed to be like this one is a Black Sea, and we are over there in the top right angle, and this is like whole Mediterranean, all this antique Greek culture, plenty of those signs of Greek motifs, Greek ornaments, and all those vases, all those pieces of columns, which are have Greek architectural style, but it's also called antique style, as we know. So, but on the other hand, we see plenty of those primitive artifacts here, which are mixed with those splendid work like this. This is pure glass, I'd say. So how could this be preserved for our times? I don't know. Probably this is also from the different ages that we can read in those notes over here. So I say it's just a combination of very old artifacts and not that old artifacts, all mixed up and presented as in one united style of ancient Greek colony, which was overtaken by a bunch of different powers in the past times. That's why we can see those vases with the ancient gods, and close to them we can see splendid bench made of marble. It's probably a concrete marble bench which was created by some good master of something. And in other room we can see very primitive stuff which they say was after the ancient Greek, and it looks more primitive for me in creation. So it's like what they say in showing those artifacts that are more primitive, but they're from the further times. They say that the further civilizations were more stupid, had less creative geniuses and stuff like this. So this is literally the admitting of us being even more stupid than those who were before us. So I don't like this concept. I think that just mixing it all together for us to understand that the paradigm was so hard and complicated, and so we have to believe them in every single word they say. But as you saw those huge blocks over there, they show only one thing. They are destroyed and they are not shown to the public. They are not restored because they cannot be fit in this paradigm, because the constructions that the outside are very simple, and they cannot be matched to this tomb of so-called Hercules. And in fact it's not even Hercules tomb, because they don't say so. They just call it so-called Hercules tomb, but they don't say that it's a Hercules tomb, just disgracing the area because it's Russia. How could Hercules be buried in Russia? This is very stupid to say, but that's why they call it so-called Hercules tomb. And it was discovered in 1975. I bet everyone knew that they had a Hercules tomb nearby, and for all those times, but nobody excavated the area. Why? Because it's on the huge level, with the huge level of mud and sand. Probably they didn't have so much resources to excavate the whole area, and so probably this is just the time in 1975 to find that they had so-called Hercules tomb here. So I don't know if this makes you understand what I'm trying to say, but mixing all those cultures, all those times in one museum totally misleads the person, because I came to see the ancient Greek town. Give me more evidence of that. Why you show me so much evidence from medievals, from the 18th century, from 19th century, from Christian era? Why are you doing this? It's either you don't have anything to show from the Greek times, or have just a little bit, and maybe most of it is just a copy of what was sent to another city in bigger museums and stuff like this. It's just I think this is just a way to gather tourists, attract the tourists to this museum so they can pay money. The ticket is like $15 for a person, so we had to buy like $30 just to enter and see this composure, this mix of cultures of these areas. Oh, of course it's probably interesting for those who believe in official paradigm, but we don't know. And I was pretty much disappointed for them falsifying all these periods that trying to show us, and this is really stupid to pay for this, of course, but we had to do it. And this is what we saw here. This is the last room, and it shows the artifacts from 19th century, and we also see Griffon over there in the top, in the bottom picture. So I think this is just another attempt to collect some money on history, and just mislead the people that it was just so primitive after the Greeks. Civilization was dissolved in history, because Turkish territory was first Greek territory, and then the Greek became the Turkish territory. So this is just another way to make this deception working. Thanks a lot for watching. See you later. Bye.